Hi, welcome to this new video of mine. Today I thought I would talk a little bit about happiness. I'm going to make numerous videos on the cause of happiness and how we can attain higher levels of happiness in our life. But today I thought I would target a little bit about our perception, because your perception is directly linked to your emotional system. So how you perceive really determines how you feel. And in every moment, you're perceiving the world around you. And in every moment, that perception is changing your emotion. Now, most of the time, that shift in your emotion is quite subtle. So you're not even aware that your emotion's shifting most of the time. It's only when we have a really big, powerful experience that we find our emotion shifts in a really strong and powerful way, either into great levels of excitement and happiness, or in negative emotion and anger, rage, or fear. Excuse me. So our perception it's really important for us to perceive from what I would call a truthful level. Why? Because the beautiful thing about higher, let's say, more universal or spiritual truth, all truth on that level is positive. So if I'm able to actually perceive what is actually real as opposed to what my mind wants to tell me is real, and most often, what my mind tells me is real is actually not real at all. It's flawed and diluted from my past conditioning. How I perceived at the time of experiences in the past, I took on certain beliefs, and that's basically shaped and coloured how my mind currently thinks. So, and a lot of that is really flawed. To use an old Buddhist term in a sense, in Buddhism they talk about the human mind is deluded. We're all suffering from samsara, which is an illusionary and delusioned or deluded perception of life. To give you an example of what I mean about that, let's say when you were 6 years old, your mum was going shopping or your dad was going shopping, and they're really in a hurry. They need to go to the shop and get what they needed and get back because they had to go out. So, dad or mum says, "Oh, I'm going shopping," and you get all excited as a 6-year-old. You go, "Gee, I'm looking forward to going shopping with my mum or dad." And then mum and dad says, "Well, sorry, you can't come." So the little 6-year-old mind goes, "Well, why doesn't mummy or daddy let me come to the shop with them? Aren't I good enough? Or, what have I done wrong? Or why won't they let me?" So that little 6-year-old mind can then take on a belief that I'm not good enough, or I'm not valuable, or mummy and daddy doesn't love me. So it attacks their sense of self-value. And because of the law of attraction, that perception that 6-year-old child takes on actually changes their internal energy. And with that shift in internal energy, through the law of attraction, experiences will turn up in that child's life for them to perceive and invoke that negative emotion to validate what they vibrate within their body. So what happens through the cycle of that, those experiences turning up, and then they're feeling, not loved or not valued, every time it comes around, it makes stronger in their mind and in their belief that they are not valuable. So then they start to function within their life from that knowingness that I'm not valuable, or I don't deserve love. So, which then this reinforces it and makes it stronger. So that's just one example of, the mind is really being conditioned with a lot of non-truths. Of course, the 6-year-old was loved. In their mind, they weren't, but mummy and daddy were in a hurry. So, the child, obviously the child was still very, very loved. So they took on something that wasn't actually true. And our minds, all of us, not myself included, we all have all of this past conditioning that's really based on a non-truth. And when we have an experience and we perceive it, as I said earlier, our perception's linked to our emotion. If I perceive something from that non-truthful level, I will feel negative in my emotion, because the beautiful thing is, all truth is positive. So if I perceive an experience and I feel uplifted and joyful, that tells me that in that moment I am actually perceiving accurately. And the opposite is true as well. So if I feel negative in my emotion, that tells me straight away that I am actually perceiving something that's not true. It's something I believe to be true based on my past conditioning. So how can I disempower what drives that negative emotion? Well, the first step really is to recognize in the moment the truth of why you feel negative. And that is, right now I feel negative in my emotion. The only way I could feel this way is because on some level I believe or I'm validating a non-truth. And I can assure you, if you make that little validation in your head when you feel negative, very quickly your negative emotion will lighten, if not go away altogether. So simply acknowledging the truth of why you feel negative, and that is, right now I'm in non-truth, simply by acknowledging the truth of that, helps to free you from negative emotion. Anyway, that's just one very little, short little video here on emotions and perceptions. As I said earlier, I'm going to do a whole series and go deeper into how we can be more happy and more contented, and look at many areas of perception, judgment, and control and attachment, all of these things that influence the way we feel in our life. So I look forward to making more videos soon. Thank you. Bye.